These sectors will be the pillars on which India will build its future. We're in the middle of a massive structural shift driven by three specific mega projects that are transforming our connectivity, mobility, and energy infrastructure. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what these three mega projects are and revealing the specific stocks that you need to buy now to profit from this vision. First is our railway sector, specifically RITES, RVNL, Titagarh Rail, and IRFC. However, we have to understand why these specific PSUs stand to gain the most. It is the dedicated freight corridors. The Eastern DFC, Ludhiana to Dankuni, and the Western DFC, Dadri to Jawaharlal Nehru Port in Mumbai, are dedicated rail lines exclusively for freight movement. These highways on rails are key to decongesting passenger lines, which can then allow for faster, more energy-efficient goods transport. These are critical for linking major ports to industrial hubs. This means constructing new railway lines, which is where RVNL comes in, and building new specialized coaches, which is where Titagarh Rail comes in. RITES is the engineering spearhead of these projects, like a project manager who must ensure that the larger vision is executed in a sustainable and modern manner. Finally, IRFC is the body that will finance all this growth. Let us quickly understand the impact that these projects can have on these stocks and the country as a whole. India's overall logistics costs are projected to reduce from 14% of GDP to below 10%, making Indian goods more competitive globally. Studies estimate that DFCs could lower the price of commodities by up to 5% due to freight efficiency gains. Indian Railways revenue growth has been partially attributed to the DFCs, with 2.94% of its recent revenue increase linked to these corridors. Studies show a social equalizing effect, with states having a lower per capita GDP experiencing significant welfare gains due to lower transportation costs. But if you think this project is big enough, I have a surprise for you. This project is part of a much larger plan to modernize India's logistical chains. It starts with Bharat Mala Pariyojana, India's flagship highway program focusing on constructing economic corridors, intercorridors, and feeder routes, with major sections like the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway and the Dwarka Expressway nearing completion. Launched in 2017, this plan will bring together the four sides of India in what we can imagine as an upgraded version of Mr. Vajpayee's Golden Quadrilateral. Just the first phase of this project will spend nearly 5.35 lakh crores, and practically every public infrastructure stock would benefit. However, I am picking only four. L&T for the most obvious reasons, PNC Infra for the valuations that it is available at, GR Infra for its size among highway construction stocks, and HG Infra for the recent tender wins. The land projects are supported by the Sagarmala project, which is focused on port modernization, port-led industrialization, and enhancing coastal shipping and inland waterways. These three together create seamless integration between road, rail, and sea networks. The Sagarmala program is a national initiative aimed at boosting economic development by harnessing India's 17,500 kilometer coastline and developing port infrastructure. The beneficiaries are broadly categorized into port operators, shipbuilding or repair companies, EPC contractors, and logistics or ancillary service providers. Adani Ports and SEZ is India's largest private port operator. It benefits from increased overall cargo volume, port-led industrialization, and better connectivity funded by Sagarmala. JSW Infrastructure is in port operations, logistics, and marine services. It benefits from the development and operation of world-class terminals and ports crucial for industrial growth. Gujarat Pipavav Port is India's first private sector port. It benefits from enhanced rail and road connectivity projects that link the port to key domestic and international markets. The next is urban aviation under the scheme UDAN or Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. It is the primary project for expanding air travel access and developing urban regional aviation. The scheme aims to make flying affordable and connect Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. It would work in four parallels. Network expansion, where the government has extended the UDAN scheme beyond 2027 with a target to develop around 120 new destinations, focusing particularly on connectivity with hilly, northeastern, and aspirational regions. Airport development is next. The goal is to increase the number of operational airports from 74 in 2014 to 159 by 2024 and chart a path to over 350 by 2047. This involves reviving underutilized airports and building new greenfield airports. Specialized connectivity is the recent phase of UDAN, where we have introduced specific routes for helicopters and seaplanes, connecting water airdromes, which is crucial for last mile connectivity in challenging terrains and for tourism. Finally, we have drone ecosystems, where the government's production-linked incentive scheme for drones and the Drone Rules 2021 are actively promoting domestic manufacturing and use of drones in logistics, agriculture, and surveillance, paving the way for a future urban air mobility. For logistics and warehousing, Mahindra Logistics, Gateway District Parks, and All Cargo Logistics are direct beneficiaries of the MMLP network and the drive to formalize the logistics sector, leading to high utilization and efficiency gains. Idea Forge Technology and Zen Technologies are direct beneficiaries of the PLI scheme for drones and the increasing demand from government, especially defense and mapping, and logistics, which is e-commerce businesses. These are pure play bets on the future of the drone market. Indigo and SpiceJet as market leaders will benefit mostly from the Iran expansion by connecting Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Another parallel of India's growth is the power sector. To understand the massive shift in power that goes way beyond just renewable energy generation, watch this video. Let us now focus on the National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation. This is associated with Greenfield Industrial Smart Cities. These represent a long-term structural transformation of India's manufacturing and logistics landscape. The goal is to develop 11 industrial corridors and accompanying smart cities like Dholera and Greater Noida Smart City along high-speed transportation networks, primarily the dedicated freight corridors that we just spoke of. The stock beneficiaries are those that provide the foundational infrastructure, digital backbone, and key manufacturing components for these new ecosystems. Larsen & Toubro is the largest EPC firm and the primary beneficiary of trunk infrastructure work, building the industrial estates, integrated townships, ports, and complex multimodal hubs like the ones planned in Greater Noida and Dholera. NCC Limited and GMR Infrastructure benefit from contracts for building the high-quality roads, bridges, and utility infrastructure needed for the corridors and the smart cities. Tech Mahindra and Tata Consultancy Services are key contenders for contracts involving the integrated command and control centers, smart traffic management, automated utility monitoring, and the underlying digital architecture. Havells India and Polycab India supply the core electrical components, smart lighting, and high-quality wires and cables needed for plug-and-play utility infrastructure and smart grids within the townships. Power Grid Corporation of India will serve the massive power infrastructure expansion needed to serve the high consumption industrial corridors, provides steady business for core power transmission companies.